Hello, Candlewood. I hope you all are doing well. I have a few announcements before I share a couple of verses. Remember, Friday is a day of fasting and prayer. You can go to nae.net. That's the National Association of Evangelicals, and they list some prayer requests, things that we could pray for. So that's Friday, the day of fasting and prayer. And of course, as you know, Sunday is Easter Sunday. Hooray! You can join us for church on Sunday at 9:15. If you go to our website, you can now watch Candlewood Church on Facebook, YouTube, and at candlewoodchurch.org live. So if you go to the website page all the way down, you'll see where you can connect live stream, and that'll take you to those three spots. Also, you probably want to have some bread and juice available as we're going to celebrate communion together. This is a great time, of course, because of Easter, to invite others to church. You can share that link with others, so that should be good. Like I said, hopefully we're all doing well. I thought I'd read just a couple of verses out of Luke chapter 11 that I was reading earlier. This is Luke 11:29 through 32. As the crowds increased, Jesus said, "This is a wicked generation. It asks for a miraculous sign, but none will be given it except the sign of Jonah. For as Jonah was a sign to the Ninevites, so also will the Son of Man be to this generation. The Queen of the South will rise at the judgment with the men of this generation and condemn them. For she came from the ends of the earth to listen to Solomon's wisdom, and now one greater than Solomon is here. The men of Nineveh will stand at the judgment with this generation and condemn it, for they repented at the preaching of Jonah, and now one greater than Jonah is here." First, I was just thinking about this, how Jesus was saying that this was an evil generation. And then I was thinking, so what does an evil generation or an evil society look like? If I was to ask us, we'd probably say things like, well, a really evil society or nation or generation would be, maybe there's ethnic cleansing, maybe there's slavery, maybe they mistreat people in some way, or they call evil good and good evil. That kind of sounds like our society today, at least I think. But I thought it was interesting. So what did Jesus say? He said an evil generation is a generation that asks for a sign. They want more proof, more evidence. People say that today, don't they? They want proof for faith. And what does you think, well, what does God have to do? Does he have to write letters in the sky, or does he have to raise people from the dead? Of course, he did do that. He raised himself and others from the dead. So why is it evil to be asking for a sign? Well, I think partly because it implies that God has not done enough. People say, well, it's his fault. If I'm going to believe, God has to do more than what he's done. If only God had given them more evidence, they would believe. Actually, I think there is a lot of evidence, just like we were looking at when we were going through the book of Exodus, all those pictures, and how it's almost like because people were looking at the wrong time and the wrong place, all the evidence for Moses and the children of Israel, it's left almost like untouched because people haven't been going there, or at least not too many people. And so why don't they see it? Why don't they see the evidence? I think there's lots of reasons, more reasons than we have time to talk about. But probably the number one reason is their preposition that they start with, that God does not exist, there is no supernatural, and there are no miracles. And then we think, well, if they start with that, well, no wonder they can't see, or they need more evidence. So what really helps people draw near to God? When things go well, or when things don't go so well. I tend to think it's when things don't go so well, that's when people draw near to God, or they start reflecting on their life and thinking about where they're going. So what is this? So when we look at this verse, or when we look at the virus, Why did God allow that? Some people might say, well, doesn't he care? Or maybe the truth is that he allowed the virus because he does care. Just like he allowed the plagues in Egypt so that Egypt would do right, but they refused. What sign did Jesus give? He said the sign of Jonah is the only sign they're going to receive. Basically, it's the resurrection from the dead. This is what we're going to be celebrating on Sunday, Easter Sunday. So then lastly here, verse 31 and 32, it says that the queen of the south will rise at the judgment with the men of this generation and condemn it. And the men of Nineveh will stand at the judgment of this generation and condemn it. It's kind of gives the idea that there's going to be, on Judgment Day, there'll be millions of people there, and everybody will be watching. And when the evil, the wicked are judged, millions of people will be watching, and because they agree with God's judgment, in a sense, they will be condemning them. I thought, boy, isn't that something we should take seriously? Anyway, those are just some thoughts I had. Guys, I hope you're all doing well. We love you. I can't wait till we have church again where we can see each other and hug one another and do all those things. Well, but I hope you have a great week, and I hope to see you soon. Thanks. We'll see you later.